Hey there, welcome to the latest episode of Hiker Homily. I'm inside today because wind gusts are up to 30 miles per hour and it's just not something I want to either hike in or try to be outside to record in, whether I stay home or not. So we're inside today. And unfortunately I'm doing a whole bunch of shoots, so you're going to see quite a few videos with this backdrop and stuff. It's how it is. I decided to shoot today. It's a Tuesday. And it is extremely windy outside, more than, we've had wind gusts before, but yeah, 30 miles per hour, sometimes gusts getting up to 40. Yeah, I'm not going to record in that or hike in that for today. So hopefully I'll get out there tomorrow and shoot some more things. But today we're shooting a bunch of stuff, and this episode of Hiker Homily is going to be about our brain. Does hiking change your brain? You may have seen like the claim, you've seen people maybe post things, but hey, too long, didn't read maybe for you. So here's a little quick blurb on, does it really change our brain? I kind of looked into it to see if it does. And what do you know? It apparently, according to several studies, many studies done by a whole bunch of different experts and doctors and neuro experts and things like that, hiking does change your brain in several ways. The first way actually physically changes our brain, especially for old dudes like me and old gals that might be out there hiking and things like that. Hiking can actually physically change our brain. As you can see here from Dr. Sarah C. McEwen, regular exercise supports the health of your blood vessels. Roughly 15 to 20% of the blood pumped by your heart goes to your brain, even though your brain only takes up 2 to 3% of your body mass. Working out also prevents loss of total brain volume that can happen with age. After age 40, we lose 1% of our brain matter. Working out, any kind of exercise, apparently, especially hiking and walking and things like that, can help prevent that loss. So physically, keeps your brain from getting smaller. And that's the last thing I need. I don't know about you guys, but the last thing I need is a smaller brain. So there we go with that. Also, physical exercise can grow and promote gray matter retention and thickness in important regions of the brain like the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, also by Dr. McEwen there. The positive changes are accompanied by an increase in brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein essential for healthy cognitive function. And she goes on to explain that basically that neurotropic factor is kind of like a miracle grow for our neurons in our brain. It basically helps those neurons stay alive and keep firing. Exercise seems to be the silver bullet to not only help keep it alive, but according to her, increase it. So that's pretty good. That's actual physical changes to our brain, keeping it from shrinking, maybe even growing, keeping those neurons alive, increasing those neurons' ability and things like that. So yeah, really, really cool there. Also, it has been shown in several studies to be a stress reliever. Now this I have experienced myself. I'm sure a lot of you might agree. You get out there in the woods and you're hiking and you just feel better. I mean, even if I'm having a stressful morning and I'm dragging my butt out of bed, I really don't feel like going, but I told myself to get out there. I'm going to get on the trail. So I do. I drive out to the trailhead, and once I am on the trail, right away, my brain is telling me it's a good thing you did this. This feels good. This is not, even if I'm walking uphill and I'm with my old butt trying to get up that hill and things like that, I'm still in the back of my head going, man, it's nice out here. I'm glad we got out here to do this. And that's part of that stress relief. A study here says, while the very act of working out supports the brain, nature's sights, sounds, and even smells also have a positive influence. A study done in 2020 says that spending time in nature changes signals in the brain and promotes a more relaxed state. I have felt that, and I do agree. Totally agree with that. In the study, they could see brain waves decrease in the prefrontal cortex when compared to urban settings, explains Gomes Osman, one of the researchers for this study. When people were in nature, they tended towards neural signals associated with making fewer decisions and relaxing quite a bit. Any relief from stress, which affects both memory and mood, will likely have a positive effect on stress. So, a stress fighter as well. And again, they're talking also about almost any exercise, but always best that if you're getting it in more of a natural setting. When our brains are stuck in an urban setting, apparently, in a town, city, things like that, there are so many things going on, keeping our brain from relaxing. You're always basically on guard, or with so many things happening, you're constantly, what's that? What's that? What's that? Now, you may not be thinking that consciously, but your brain is doing that. What is that over there? What is that over there? What is that over there? Where it's not necessarily doing it with that kind of urgency when you're out in the woods. It's more like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. I wonder what that is. Oh, nice. More of a relaxed thing out in the woods is what they found with these studies. Also helps with problem solving, which is kind of interesting. I didn't know that. When you do exercise on elliptical or treadmill, you're not being challenged cognitively. You're just using automatic movements you'd use every day, so kind of like muscle memory type of thing. You know how to walk, so you're just walking on this treadmill and things like that. When you're out in the forest or other wild terrain, you have to use spatial navigation, your memory, and your attention with nearly every step. And again, that kind of makes sense. Even if it's not a conscious thing, I know when I'm out on an actual trail as compared to when I have to get on a treadmill or something like that. I am. It's like, I'm not lost. This is an easy path to follow, but my brain is working, and it's like, okay, I'm on this path, and what came before, and we're going to head up there. I can see in the distance we're going to be moving. Well, we're going to start to climb a hill up in the distance. I can see that, so I'm going to get prepared for it. We're going to do this, and oh, look at that over there. That kind of stimulation not only can be relaxing, but it's also your brain is practicing its problem-solving skills. Okay, coming up here, I can see a hill. Now, you don't get to really see that on a treadmill. Some of the more expensive treadmills that can incline, you can see a red line. Oh, the red line's getting taller on this readout. That doesn't really mean a whole lot to your brain for real. It doesn't really do anything. But when you're on a trail and you look ahead and you see there's a hill, and I got to get up over that hill because the track can see the trail. It goes up over the hill. Your brain's already working on solutions. How are we going to do that? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do blah, blah, blah with our muscles? Things like that. So, kind of cool. Kind of works on your problem-solving skills. Here's a good word for you. Rumination. Are you a ruminator? Guess what? I'm a ruminator. I didn't really realize it until I read this, but I am a ruminator. How many of you are a ruminator? Those who ruminate or focus too much on negative thoughts about themselves can exhibit anxiety, depression, and other issues such as binge eating, post-traumatic stress disorder. Wow, that's almost me in a nutshell. Let me tell you what. Definitely a ruminator. I know I focus a lot on, I'll feel, even though it happens a lot, I'll get like a twinge in my, oh my gosh, what is that? Automatically. Is this going to ruin my ability to hike later? Am I not going to be able to do such and such plan because I'm feeling this twinge? And I have to actually force my brain to say, look, you've done this like 8 times, and all 8 times you feel that twinge. It goes away after half a mile. That's just whatever your body is doing, but it's okay. It's not debilitating. But I have to tell myself that almost every time. You have to kind of know yourself. I've done a whole hiker homily on that, knowing yourself. And that goes along with this because a lot of people like me are ruminators. Every little signal is automatically, this could be bad. Oh my gosh, this could be totally bad. Oh, okay, we've gone like a half hour now and it's kind of gone. So, okay, it wasn't bad. Whew, good thing, but boy, I really thought that could be the end, So, in the study that they did, researchers compared the reported rumination of participants who hiked through an urban environment and a nature environment. They found that those who walked 90 minutes in a natural environment, which took place in like a grassland near Stanford, this was a Stanford study, reported lower levels of rumination and also had reduced neural activity in the subgenual prefrontal cortex, which is associated with mental illness. Interesting. So it kind of helps your brain level itself, basically. And again, that goes also back to the whole stress thing. When you're ruminating, you're stressing yourself. You're giving yourself anxiety. You're automatically thinking, this is bad. Oh my gosh, what's happening here? What are we going to do with this? And yeah, that's not a good thing. You're just kind of amping yourself up on anxiety issues and stuff. They also suggest that disconnecting is an important thing. But here's the thing. Let me read this real quick. But we'll kind of go over my take on how I read it. Am I an expert? I'm not going to claim I am. I have had some mental health training. I've had some mental health counseling and things like that. But I've actually had training. I was a peer support person for a long time. And took some courses and things like that. But what they say is, according to a study by Ruth Ann Atchley and David L. Strayer, creative problem solving can be improved by disconnecting from technology and reconnecting with nature. In the study, the participants hiked while backpacking in nature for approximately 4 days, and they were prohibited from using technology. They were asked to perform tasks requiring creativity and complex problem solving. They found that those immersed in the hiking excursions had increased performance on problem solving tasks by 50%. So you become a much better problem solver, along with all the other things. And I think what they mean by disconnecting here, again, this is just me saying this, as I'm not completely saying, and you can if you want. There are plenty of people who would be fine with this. You leave all your technology home. Okay, but hey, Todd, you say my phone is my camera, and it's also my GPS locator, and it's hooked up to my GPS emergency beacon, which I'm not going to hike without. That's all really good. I don't think these folks in this study would suggest you do that either. I think what they mean by disconnecting is you turn off all that extra stuff. Don't get emails forwarded to you. Don't get text messages. You don't need your Twitter feed telling you so-and-so posted on such and such topic. You don't need Reddit, Facebook, any of the social networks. Not bagging on any of them, not advertising any of them, just saying, disconnect yourself from all that social network stuff. You don't need those notifications going off when you're out in there. Now, if you have a GPS system on your phone and that's what you're using as a map, I hope you have an actual paper map as a backup in your backpack. I know I do that all the time when I'm hiking. I would hope you would too, but that's up to you. So yeah, bring your phone, take your pictures, record if you want. I mean, I know I do when I do hike reports and things. I've got my technology with me. I use things like gut hooks and a whole bunch of other Gaia, a whole bunch of other map apps on my phone to get through things. So I am not technologyless when I am out hiking, but I am completely shut off from, I don't get any notifications from any social networks, my email, my texts, that's turned off. I don't want that beeping and telling me, oh, so-and-so's at such and such, or, oh, look at that, celebrity A did such and such. You don't need any of that stuff when you're out in the woods. Disconnect from that. That kind of thing is a huge distraction in our society nowadays that actually keeps people from getting things done. Your mind automatically just, oh, this and that. Okay, now I don't have to do such and such because now I'm engrossed in this type of thing. So we are finding with all that kind of stuff going on that more and more doctors are actually recommending something that they call, according to WebMD, more and more doctors are writing nature prescriptions, or what they call ecotherapy, for things like basic anxiety, stress levels, depression issues, curb depression, it says, and things like that. And that leads me into a little disclaimer. As somebody who has had counseling for things like PTSD and depression, I've dealt with a lot of people that have those kinds of issues, again, as a peer support counselor for a while and things like that. None of this kind of thing, there's a lot of things out there, people will see stuff like that. Oh, doctors prescribe hiking for things like anxiety and blah, blah, blah. Well, I have clinical depression, chemical depression in my brain, so if I go hiking, I'm cured. Okay, no, that's not it. So the disclaimer is this. Hiking is fantastic. Or whatever exercise you're into, kayaking, hiking, skiing, whatever kind of physical activity you like to do, and things like that. Do it. Have fun with it. Go jogging. Go bicycling, swimming, all that kind of good stuff. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. But understand that although it is a good aid, it's a help with things like anxiety, depression, things like that. It is not a cure, and it is not the only go-to thing for you. Always make sure that if you need professional help, you are getting professional help. Okay? I know there's a lot of stigma there. Oh my gosh, you went to go see a counselor, blah, blah, blah. Or there's a lot of fear of, well, they're just going to throw a medication at me, then I'll turn into a zombie. Okay, I've been in counseling for PTSD now for almost 2 years. And I'm at a point now where I really don't have to go to a regular counseling session. If I need to talk, I can always text my counselor and she'll get back to me, or schedule an appointment. If it seems like, oh, this is serious, let's talk about this face to face. They can do that kind of thing. Never suggested medication because for me, they decided that's just not gonna work. For other people, that may be the solution. It can work. I have seen it work with other people. You got to get a good professional who doesn't just lean on just that. And that's up to you to be a self-advocate and things like that. But just like, okay, this is the cure for it. No, hiking is fantastic to help as a supplement, but it's not the end-all be-all. It's not in lieu of going to a professional. I am so depressed, I'm almost suicidal. I'm going to go hiking. That'll make me all better. Because chances are you may feel better in a short term, but in the long run, that's not going to work. And that's going to make you more disappointed and depressed. Oh, I tried hiking and that was supposed to fix everything and it didn't. Okay, it can't. It is not the fix-all, end-all of everything. Get professional help if you need it. So that's my disclaimer for that. And that's really Hiker Homily this time. We've kind of gone in there. Hiking does change our brains. Both our outlook of things and physically even can help our brains from shrinking. Which again, that's I don't want my brain to shrink. And I'm over 40. According to that thing, it's already starting to shrink. I need to stop shrinking, so I'm going to go out hiking and help the shrinking stop. If you have any comments, questions, any experience in all of this, as usual, you can get a hold of me in the comments down below or wherever else this is posted, also at hikingforhealthca@gmail.com. And as always, thanks so much for watching the stuff that I do in this channel. Appreciate it, and I'll catch you later.